we continue with the second half for today's topics. We have two very important philosophies or the theory or the concept throughout these AI evolutions. So the first one is known as the Turing test, and the second is known as the Chinese roots. So let's explore what's meant by the Turing test and also the Chinese roots. So these two are very popular questions in the test. So you have to understand what's meant by the Turing test and the Chinese roots. So the Turing test proposed by this guy is called Alan Turing in 1950. So he started to ask whether the machine can think. And he come up with a conclusion. He says that as long as a machine, back to the 1950, is referred to the text-based chatbot. It's a text-based. That time we don't have any audio like a CV, or we don't have any English processing, not at all. It's all based on the text. So the Alan Turing says that as long as the machine is able to converse, converse means communicate, like a human, then we can say that application is intelligent. That's it. So I repeat again, what is Turing test? So Alan Turing proposed a game is known as imitation game. So what is imitation games? So imitation games comes with three different rooms. The first room, we put one computer. In short, it's actually a chatbot, a text-based chatbot. Just like you're building the AI application, like a chatbot base, then we just randomly put in one room here. Another room, we put a human. In other words, we have two rooms, one human and one chatbot. Alright, and we have another room is known as evaluators or interrogators or maybe like a judge. Okay, so this evaluator C here, I wrote here as a room C. So he doesn't know which one is a PC or which one is a human. He got no clue at all. So he has to find out which one is PC and which one is humans. So what he can do, he start to ask questions. He start to ask the same question to both sides here, both humans and both this PC. So he asks questions, and this PC, chatbot, and also the human will return the answer, respond to the question that asked by the evaluators. So ask question, return, ask question, return, ask few questions. So at the end, right, these evaluators has to decide which one is human and which one is computer. So there are two outputs. If these evaluators, after he checked with this room A and room B, he come up with a conclusion A. I feel that room A is a computer. Alright, what does it mean? It means that this computer failed the Turing test because it can't behave like humans. The evaluator know that this is PC, and the PC failed to fool the evaluator that it is human. That's why it failed the Turing test. So that is the first output. The second output is if these evaluators come up with a conclusion after a conversation, a few minutes of conversations, evaluator says that I feel that A more like a human, Then we can say this computer passed the Turing test. Why? Because the computer is able to cheat or to fool that the evaluator that it can behave like humans. That's why the evaluator feel that I'm look like checking with the humans. That's why A passed the Turing test if the evaluator says, make a conclusion saying, A is more human-like compared to B. This is the ideas proposed by the Alan Turing, and this game is known as Turing test. It's mainly, to see if a PC is able to fool or deceive an evaluator that it is able to behave like humans, regardless of understanding. It's very important, regardless of understanding. It means that as long as this PC is able to behave like humans without understanding, we also can say, this is intelligence because it's able to behave like humans. Understand or not? I don't care. you're able to respond me just like a ChatGPT. ChatGPT actually doesn't understand what you're asking. It's actually what the form behind is all about values. But ChatGPT doesn't understand, but it can return the correct response. So the Turing test says that okay, the ChatGPT passed the Turing test. It's able to respond just like a human. Okay. Later on, we have one more theory, which is have different view as compared to the Turing test. We will see later on. It's known as a Chinese room. But before that, we will look a little bit on the applications. CAPTCHA, yeah. But this CAPTCHA is opposite to the Turing test. Turing test is to test if a machine is able to behave like humans, but the CAPTCHA is more to test humans. Is it a humans or not? Okay. Then later on, the Lochner here, this fellow, actually proposed competitions to attract people participate or build human-like chatbots. And whoever able to build a chatbot that is able to deceive the evaluators, that these fellows will win a gold prize. They will win one gold medals and together with the 200,000 of USD dollars. If you are able to build a chatbot which deceive the evaluator that it is a human. Okay. Then later on, this fellow has different view compared to the Alan Turing. Again, what is meant by a Turing test? Turing test says that as long as the chatbot is able to communicate with the evaluators, behave like humans, it is considered intelligence. But then Johnson has different perspective, different views. So look at this video first. I'm going to explain what's going on.
Enjoy 10 ringgit off with code SYOK10.
Master? 10 ringgit off. SYOK 10.
"60-second adventures in thought." Number 3. The Chinese room. Can a machine ever be truly called intelligent? American philosopher and Rhodes scholar John Searle certainly can. In 1980, he proposed the Chinese room thought experiment in order to challenge the concept of strong artificial intelligence, and not because of some 80s design fad. He imagines himself in a room with boxes of Chinese characters he can't understand, and a book of instructions which he can. If a Chinese speaker outside the room passes him messages under the door, Searle can follow instructions from the book to select an appropriate response. The person on the other side would think they're chatting with a Chinese speaker, just one who doesn't get out much. But really, it's a confused philosopher. Now, according to Alan Turing, the father of computer science, if a computer program can convince a human they're communicating with another human, then it could be said to think. The Chinese room suggests that however well you program a computer, it doesn't understand Chinese, it only simulates that knowledge, which isn't really intelligence. But then sometimes humans aren't that intelligent either.
Okay, do you understand the video? No. Okay, I'm going to explain to you. Intan, do you know Chinese words or not? A little bit. Anyone doesn't know Chinese at all? A pure banana. Oh, you. Okay, you. What's your name, man? Nelvin. Okay, so I give you one question. You have to answer these questions. Anyone doesn't know Chinese? Maybe you can ask your friends beside you. So this is the question. This is the question. Okay, so we have two answers here. We have answer A. We have answer B, 2. Okay, so we have one question stated on the board here. It's in Chinese words. We have answer 1, we have answer 2. If If I answer these questions, which answer would you pick? A1 or A2? Look at this properly. Yeah. A1. Why? Look like the same. Very good. Well done. Melvin says he would like to pick A1 as the answer. Why? Do you understand this question answer? No. He doesn't understand this question and answer at all. But he can answer it properly. Oh, the answer is A. Correct or not? A1. Yes, this is the correct answer. Why? Because you're trying to do pattern matching. Well, try to do matching. Okay, so this is quite similar. Okay, this is quite similar. Okay, so I assume that A1 is the answer. Okay, clear? Do you clear these situations? Alright, so can we say Melvin intelligent, smart? Think about it. He's able to answer this question. Perfect, good, but he doesn't understand this question at all. But can we say Melvin smart, intelligent? He basically just simulate or do pattern matching. Yeah, match with this A. Okay, so A1 is the answer. So this is not match with this, so this is not an answer. So this John Searle come up with this idea. Yeah, where he tried to put one's fellows here. Where he tried to put one's Mat Salleh, who doesn't understand Chinese at all, for example, in Melvin. Right? So inside this room there is a rule box in Chinese. Right? So outside there is a girl, right? So outside here we have one girl here. Ask some question in text. Yeah, put inside the rooms. And this Mat Salleh, we just find out the questions and then flip the rubles and return the correct answer. And make that the fella outside the room think that, oh, inside the room there is a guy that understands Chinese, but in fact the guy inside the room doesn't understand the Chinese at all. But because he's able to answer correctly, but he assumed that inside there is a Chinese guys or girls inside. So it's same situation like the Melvin doesn't understand, but he can answer correctly. So he opposed, rejects the ideas given by the Turing test. What Turing test says, remember? Turing test says that as long as you are able to respond correctly, you are considered smart, intelligent. Then John Searle says, cannot. Yeah? You reject this idea, concept, because if you can answer just without understanding, then everyone is intelligent, everyone is smart. Yeah? Imagine that you are now sitting for AR exam. You study, but you don't understand at all, you just memorize. Memorize from chapter 1 to chapter 13. And you go to the exam hall, you look at the questions, same pattern, you just write, and eventually you score A. But in fact, you don't understand at all. You just memorize all the theory questions. I believe that you have a lot of subjects, just need to memorize without understanding, and you score A. Is it? Can I say you intelligent? Can I say you smart? Cannot.
Intelligent.
Cannot. Okay, so there's no wrong or right, just different ideas. Alan Turing says that machine, as long as it's able to respond, it's good enough. Why the machine need to understand? This is the idea given by Alan Turing. But the John Searle say, to be so-called intelligence, you need to understand. Yeah, you cannot just answer, but you need to understand. So this is two different ideas. Turing test is more focused on the output behavior. Yeah, John Searle is more focused on internal consciousness, whether you understand or not. Okay, so there's one example here. Yeah, so this is Germans. Can you try to answer these questions? What is the output for winter second? You have two different rules here. Should we follow rule number 1 or rule number 2? Intan? Rule 1 or rule 2? You got a lot of time. Don't worry. This is the input. Yeah, this is the input. If you have this input, this is the output. If you have this input or you have this input, you have this output. So what is the output if you are given this input? 2, R2, R1 or R2? 2, why? Look like the same, right? You try to match W, W, I, E. Okay, done. So this is Tetris. I don't know how to pronounce that. Yeah. So do you understand this question or answer? No, but you can answer it correctly. So can I say you're intelligent? No. But theory test says that you're able to respond. So we don't care whether you understand or not. You're able to respond. Just like ChatGPT. Yeah, ChatGPT is smart. Yeah, it's able to answer most of the questions, but in fact, it doesn't understand at all what is your questions, what you're asking about. So Jasper Alright has mentioned just two different ideas. Henry Turing in 1950 proposed this Turing test, and then the Johnson is in 1980 he proposed this Chinese room, yeah, to oppose the view that proposed by the Alan Turing. Okay, so these are the two very important philosophies in the AI timelines. So I know you said the final question. Do you want this kind of questions? What is the difference between Chinese room and the Turing test? One. Okay, good. Alright, so think about it. So if a system can run the program and pass the Turing test, does it really understand? Right? And second question, is it necessary for a machine to understand the input and the output? Okay? Alright, so that's all for today's topics. Very simple. And we will move on to the next topic, which is the first application, part searching. We will touch on a little bit on the problem and the goal formulation first, before moving on to the algorithms. Okay, so see you next week. Alright, well done, all of you.